Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining the Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free KMET live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. A huge shout out to the team as always, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you, and to our special advisory committee, Bill Morris, UCI School of Business, Jose and Camila Rubio. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget to check out the Jay Kaplan Show, also on KMET's on Friday at 3, as well as the Aaron Michael Sanchez Morning Show every morning at 8. Thank you all for being here. I have the distinct honor and pleasure to be introducing Mr. Curt Hagman, who was elected to serve San Bernardino County's 4th District in November of 2014 and was named Chairman of the Board of Supervisors in 2019. The 4th District includes the cities of Chino Hills, Montclair, Ontario, and the southern portion of Upland. It spans approximately 133 square miles and is home to over 400,000 residents. Supervisor Hagman has an extensive resume of public service prior to his election to San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, including serving in Chino Hills as Parks and Recreation Commissioner, member of City Council, and mayor, and served 6 years in the California legislature. In January of 2019, Hagman was elected by his fellow supervisors to serve as chairman of the board for a 2-year term. As a board director of Southern California Association of Governments, or SCAG, Regional Council, he was selected as chairman of the Emerging Technologies Committee. The Emerging Technologies Committee researches and identifies new and emerging technologies that play an important role in the regional transportation plan and the sustainable communities strategy. A highlight for the supervisor has been his role in the successful transfer of returning Ontario International Airport to local control in 2016. Supervisor Hagman was able to reach across party lines and work behind the scenes to reinitiate serious dialogue between LAWA and OIAA on the transfer of control that led to the final agreement. As one of the 5 commissioners on the OIAA, he presently serves as chairman of the OIAA Ad Hoc International Trade Committee. Along with supervisory duties, Hagman also serves on the following boards and organizations: Governing Board Chairman of Inland Empire Health Plan, which oversees the decisions and operations of the Public Health Plan, Inland Valley Development Agency, National Association of Counties, Omnitrans, Southern California Association of Governments, San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, Commissioner of Ontario International Airport Authority, and is an officer in the California State Military Reserves. Supervisor Hagman earned a Bachelor of Arts Degree in psychology at UCLA. His children are continuing the Bruin tradition. Jonathan is currently attending a public policy master's program at UCLA and a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard, and Elizabeth is a freshman at UCLA and in the Army ROTC. Thank you again for being with us today, Supervisor Hagman.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry about the long bio there.
Oh, no, please. Thank you for all of the work that you've been putting into, representing your constituents in an amazing way. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. It's been my honor and pleasure to continue to serve the residents of the 4th District here in San Bernardino County.
Absolutely. So let's jump into it. As you know, one of my first questions to all of our guests is just to give us a really, brief background journey on how it is and why it is you are, the supervisor or the chairman of the Board of Supervisors for San Bernardino County, and just kind of walk us through that journey and what that looked like and what motivated you to, move forward and take on such a tremendous task.
Well, you read quite a bit my political career, so I won't go back to that. But I will go back a little bit further. I was, like many of my residents, a volunteer-aholic. I had my own company, which gave me a bit of free time when my kids were very little, infants and toddlers, to volunteer a lot. And I've always been a volunteer at heart. Everything from being the Eagle Scout to serving in the military and all the rest of it. So it's satisfying to me to be able to be part of public service. I kind of got recruited into the public side of that by a former Quantium member of mine who was then on the city council for Chino Hills and says, hey, I need a Park and Recs commissioner, and you're active in the community. Would you like to try that? And I said, sure. And it wasn't that to give me the public policy bug, I guess, but I was already a Parks and Recs commissioner, and then Supervisor Fred Aguirre wanted me to become his commissioner on Workforce Investment Board. And there I was with both times I was probably the youngest person on these boards, but I was able to convince my peers, my fellow board members, to change directions of where we're going. And I was able to see the results of those changes for going one of the lower workforce investment boards in the country to being number one within 2 years. So that really fired up the excitement of public service, that you really can, by working together with others, make a difference, and with the difference in outcomes of government. And I commend anybody who wants to give public service a chance, because it does take some really good-hearted people to try to do things for the right reasons and to succeed for your betterment of your fellow citizens. And so that was kind of my journey. Then the rest, I guess, is history, getting to the city council and then getting the bug to stay in elective office over 20 years now.
Well, you can absolutely see your heart of service through your bio. And I love how you framed the, what is it, a volunteeraholic, or what did you call it?
Volunteeraholic, yes.
Oh, volunteeraholic. Yes, I can absolutely relate to that. And I love what it is that you've done so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by talking about some recent awards that you have been able to gather on behalf of the county, because I just want to start off with just an amazing testimony to what it is that is happening right here in our county, before we go into what it is and why it is that you received those awards. So please share with us what accolades and why it is we can all be so proud of the county of San Bernardino.
Well, and definitely, this is not me or the board. This is the collective group working in San Bernardino County, our dedicated employees involved in just all the staff that have put their heart and soul into changing government. Now, one thing I will say in criticism about government is we're the only people that don't have competition. So my big push, every elected position I go, if we're doing the same thing we're doing 5 or 6 years ago, then we're not evolving. And if you were to do that in the private sector, somebody else would take over your market share because they're evolving all the time. So we tend not to be very progressive when it comes to technology and changing the way we do things. So we've gotten that atmosphere at San Bernardino County, and for the last 6 years now, we've been in the top 2 or 3 or 4 counties in North America getting the award for most innovative, or innovation awards, they call it, from National Association of Counties. So these are all the hundreds and hundreds of counties throughout North America. And this last year, we were number 1 in the country with 82 different awards for the new things we're doing, the new services we're bringing, the new ways we're doing public benefit service to our residents. So I'm very proud of the team at San Bernardino County to keep reinventing itself, to make it government more accessible, make it more easy to use, embracing technology, even though it's hard for change sometimes, especially for government. They're completely redefining the way we do business. And our fleet department also was the number 1 fleet of North America, any fleet, government and non-government, so federal fleets and all the rest of it, they were number 1 in that as well. So it's nice to be number 1. It's hard to hold that number 1 position with all the competition, but we're going to continue to try to continue to reinvent the way government's being delivered to its residents.
That is amazing. And please, let's talk a little bit. We'll get it right into the financial outlook for the county. We're going to make this like a mini state of the county, if that's okay with you. So please, let's talk a little bit about San Bernardino County's financial outlook as it stands today.
We're very strong. We're probably one of the more healthier counties in the state right now. We're almost completely fully funded our pension system. We had one of our largest budgets ever this year that we passed, of over $8 billion. We have a very healthy reserve. We've reached our 20% reserve that the board established for those times where it's not as going to be as nice as it is now. And we are going to put out almost $800 million of new dollars this year, direct investing to the future of this county, as far as infrastructure projects and programs. So we're very strong financially. And if the recession comes, or if it's already here, and we see the down effects over the next few years, we're prepared to handle that. So we'll keep on our services. But we're very excited for the opportunity to be a conservative board as far as financially. We do not want to waste any of our taxpayer dollars coming in, but strategically investing to help continue the San Bernardino County to grow like it is. It's one of the fastest growth places in the United States right now. I believe we're supposed to get 50% more population in the next 25 to 30 years. Wow. So that's a lot of growth, and we're trying to be prepared for that.
And so how does the county, when you're looking at it side by side around surrounding counties, what are the similarities, and where do you see the divergent areas as well?
Well, I think this board and previous boards in San Bernardino County made those hard decisions back in times where they aren't that good. 15, 20 years ago, and even up to a decade ago, they were making those stronghold of not over expending, not spending more than they had, or projecting too far out, and catching up with its obligations, especially with the pension. So as other counties had to file bankruptcy or have issues with their financials, we're probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, as far as the percentage of our budget saved and put away for rainy days and build infrastructure of any other county in California. And I think it's making those tough decisions earlier, working with our employee groups to get, at the time, a decade, concessions on certain things, and be able to really keep our promises to those who have made for our employees and our residents.
Right. And so I understand that recently you had a Board of Supervisors meeting, and we had a resident, Mr. Jeff Burham. He was actually in the paper for suggesting and requesting, maybe even imploring, that the county secede from the state of California. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I totally get Mr. Burham and the other residents who come and spoke frustration, because we on the local level are very frustrated too. The state of California is doing some things that we would agree with. This country is based on local control on many different levels. States' rights, local control. We see how Sacramento has handled COVID. It's all directed from Sacramento, one size fit all. And some of the concessions they made on public safety, and how hard it is to build housing anymore, and all the things we need to do, there's a lot of frustration. I hear from my residents all the time. They would like to have a solution to change the direction that California, and frankly, we see the same numbers for the nation right now, a lot of frustration the way we're going. Jeff Burham and others have asked the county to look at what that would be to succeed and have a study on it, whether or not our residents would like to use their taxpayer dollars to study and to find out the solutions. I will say from our quick search of resources that if you go by per capita, we are on the bottom third from the state of California, which we all kind of knew that, I guess inland counties don't get as much attention as people like LA and San Francisco. And so we join their frustration, and we're going to look for solutions to try to go fight for our better share. We know that San Bernardino County is a very strong county economically, that we're in the middle of all the trade routes and all the rest of it that goes on. We're a very young county. The average age of 33, a medium age of our residents is 33. And out of the 2.2 million residents, we have close to 1 million people workforce. So we're strong economically, but we need to keep fighting for our fair share. So we'll stay tuned. We'll see what happens with that movement going forward.
Wonderful. So with that said, let's talk about the budget that you approved for $8.4 billion for 2022 and 2023. Let's talk about what you're looking to invest that in.
Well, obviously, we have our ongoing health and human services contracts. We put a lot of extra money into public safety. We're kind of the opposite of LA County right now. We have a DA that likes to prosecute versus letting people go, and a sheriff that wants to go after, as he calls them, the bad guys out there. And so we had problems areas. And since the state of California legalized practically marijuana growing, we had a lot of outshoots of illegal marijuana grows. So we put money into task force to go after that. We've really done a great job of that the last 6 months and brought it back down to manageable levels. But we need to continue to focus on public safety. And so we put money toward that, as well as with the ARPA money that we got, which American Recovery Act money that we're investing into the economy. We invested in some small business programs and some grants to help keep them going during COVID. But we also want to invest into the main infrastructure that will allow this county to continue to grow. An example of that is sewers. We have a lot of, in my district alone, I have 22 square miles on septic still. Wow. And so we need to invest in maybe the main sewer lines to allow development to continue and to grow in a way that we're not on septic tanks anymore to help with our housing crisis. But there's other areas in different parts of the county that will get direct investment. We're going to be putting a lot of dollars into our public facilities in parks, because we want people to not only live here or work here, but also to play here and enjoy their time when they're here with their families. And so we got a lot of exciting things on our regional parks, like we brought Top Golf Partnership into Guasti Park, and we're looking at another great feature over there, which would be a really one of the 7 in the world type features we're negotiating right now at Guasti Park, as well as really upgraded with facilities at Prado Regional Park, which is another my park in our district, Glen Helen and others. So we'll be investing directly into the quality of life for our residents, both things that you see and things you don't see underground, to make sure that we can continue to grow in a very meaningful way. And to let our residents know, these are all kind of good master plan deals. So you won't see small streets on heavy residential. We're trying to master plan and connect our cities with the appropriate pockets to be easy flowing, but continue to grow going forward.
So please share with us some of the technology that you're looking to implement to, enhance the quality of life for those in our county, and how it is that you're looking to invest it moving forward. The last time we spoke, you mentioned, that the county was looking at securing 6 satellites. The Elon Musk satellites, the Skylink satellites, for dedicated Wi-Fi in our county. Can you please talk about the progress on that?
Oh yeah, and they're working fantastic. In fact, I'm hoping we can deploy more in the near future. We're still more beta testing in North America. If you see all the shots coming from, fortunately, Ukraine regarding the war, right, those are the satellites, Elon Musk Starlinks, that they're using out there right now for that communication. So obviously, San Bernardino County being the largest geographical county in North America, we have areas that doesn't have fiber or even cell phone coverage. So we're deploying those 6 at our regional county facilities right now, beta testing with the partnership of Elon Musk's company, to see how they work on more of a commercial scale. So it's not the receiver you necessarily use, they're all the same satellites, but use a smaller signal for a home than you would for a geographical area. We're using them for our campgrounds and those types, and they're working great.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're going to continue to use that. We're going to continue to work with our other internet providers to get high-speed internet. That's a huge, I believe we all need access to it, when not for your work, for telemedicine, for school, as we saw during COVID. Every resident needs to have access to high-speed internet one way or the other. So we're trying to do what we can to work with the providers to get them to focus on San Bernardino County, to put that in. And that goes to a lot of public policy. Every city and every government entity has their own permit process and fee and design engineering that these providers need to do, put fiber optics in the ground, just for example, or put a repeater on a light pole. And what we're trying to do is work with all the cities and collectively say, here's one standardized permit, one standard for doing that in our county, to streamline the process for them. We can't force them to come out to our county, but we can make it easier for them to select our county and help deploy those. We're also going to use the county resident or some of our government dollars we got for infrastructure to maybe partner up to get some of those areas that may not economically work out for Verizon or somebody else to put a fiber optics out to, but maybe we help with the infrastructure costs, but they just manage it after that. So that's on the basics. We're going to be also, I'm excited that we are a smart county, and we're continuing to strive toward that through our partnerships with our cities. As you know from the committees I'm on, that I love technology and integrating it. So things that our residents can see in the future are such as the first zero-emission vehicle to move people around, Metrolink. It's not our Metrolink, it's our ZMU that we have for SBCTA that we're going to run from Redlands Passenger Rail. zero emissions, the first one in North America.
Wow.
We're working with the Boring Company and others to look at connecting the Rancho Cucamonga to Ontario Airport, 45 feet underground with autonomous vehicles. So you get on the Metrolink in LA, come out and get on an autonomous vehicle and drive right to the airport terminals and get off and get on your plane. We're going to be the first in California for that. We're using smart city, or I call it smart county technology, to synchronize streetlights through multiple jurisdictions. So one of our projects is Haven, to make sure that at certain times of day, the lights lined up so you can travel north-south through Rancho, Ontario, and even Chino without having to stop at 30 lights in between. So the idea is for all of us to work together and not cities look internally, but look externally with their partners around them and combine with technology to make life for our residents easy. If you go to a county library right now, we have a virtual kiosk now for county services. So before you used to have to drive in to downtown San Bernardino, maybe stand at a desk and turn your paperwork in and pay whatever for a license, or now it's all digital. You can do it from these kiosks in the library, or do it from your home. You never have to have a piece of paper to build your home anymore. All the permits are digital. You can do it online, even some degree of inspection virtually. So think about this for saving money for the county and our taxpayers. If I have to send a building inspector from downtown San Bernardino to Needles to look at your water heater strap, well, that's 6 hours of that worker's time period to go look at that. Now you take your smart device, you call in, you click it, and you go boom, boom, boom. And we put that digital copy in the file. We GPS encode it, make sure you have the right address, and we sign you off electronically. And that took 3 or 4 minutes versus 6 hours of drive time. So these are some of the programs we're getting acknowledged for our awards, but we're hopefully making it easier for our residents to do business with the county.
Oh my goodness. Talk about streamlining everything, right? You're streamlining transportation with the Boring Company, and that is a very green technology. Please talk a little bit about why it's green and why it is that we need it. And I'm just really excited that, our county is going to be the first one to get it.
Well, it's really exciting for me is, even though we're talking about a 4-mile loop from Rancho Cucamonga to Ontario Airport, is the first time the technology be deployed. And we all have tunnels before, but if we picture what the tunnel is people blowing up holes in the ground and pulling out carts with the core, dirt, whatever, and building things inside it takes forever. The newer technology now can basically build a fully functional tunnel with this concrete barriers, everything else up, literally as fast as you can walk, about 1/10 the cost as it is to build a surface road.
Wow.
Plus, hopefully, 45 feet underground, there's not a lot of environmental impact. It's the safest place to be in an earthquake for those who think it's not. And it's completely watertight and all the rest of it. And obviously, you use electric type of vehicle proportions because the ventilation and all the rest of it, you only want electric. So exciting for me to be on the transportation committees for Southern California and San Bernardino County is if we could show this project works on this 4-mile loop, imagine what we could do to start put cargo containers underground, getting those trucks off the freeway and electrically moving them underground. Not only does it make it greener, but it also alleviates some of the traffic, and the cargo we put up is seen in different areas throughout the valley, and a truck would pick it up there and tow it the last 3 or 4 miles to its warehouse. So we're at the beginning of these phases of the newer technology to move people and things around, and we're exploring all those right now in San Bernardino County.
Can you just briefly talk about the technology that you're looking at implementing to provide, the energy for those projects?
Well, I think, we're all seeing that we're moving more and more toward electricity. That's something as a state we need to work together to get these energy rates down. It's like we have not as many, but we still have brownouts and those type of things. When everyone turns on, we get these alerts and stop using air conditioning in the afternoon, which is on us as public policy leaders to fix. Because if we're telling everybody to go electric, we need to beef up our infrastructure for that. And so we on the county side deal with Southern California Edison, which we work with all the time, but we're also looking at generating our own electricity with our solar fields, wind energy, and others. And we do need to really increase the capacity as more of our people go from fossil fuels to electric vehicles even, to build that up. In fact, one of my at my SCAG Emerging Technologies Committee was someone who was hopefully 6 months away to get an FAA license to use electric, I guess, quadcopters. Have you ever seen those drones, the small ones that fly around, the 4 propellers? They have a life-size version of that can land anywhere, pick up 4 passengers, and fly them, 30 miles away in 5 minutes, and charge them like an Uber or Lyft fee of $30 to $50. And so this is where, the George Jetson flying cars are coming into play in the future. And we as government have to build the infrastructure to allow that progress to continue.
Oh, exciting stuff. Okay, we're hitting on a break. So for those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking to Supervisor Curt Hagman about the County of San Bernardino's exciting projects and programs on the horizon, discussing budgets, infrastructure, and continued vision to enhance the quality of life for all in the county when we return.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs a blood transfusion. Be on the giving side. Livestream Blood Bank supports patients in 80 Southern California hospitals. Call 1-800-TRY-GIVING for more information and to set an appointment.
City of Hope is driven to making a difference in the lives of people with cancer and diabetes. We accomplish this by conducting innovative research and providing outstanding care. If you or a loved one has received a cancer diagnosis, go to cityofhope.org to learn more about how our innovative approach could change your outcome.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only School of Entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily nonstop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
It's summer, the sun is shining, and now's the time to make the most of your solar panels. Don't lose up to 50% of your solar panels' efficiency just because they're dirty. Get the most out of your solar panels and call my friends at Solar Panel Cleaning Specialists at 951-663-7502. That's 951-663-7502. Mention this ad and receive your discount. Offer expires December 31st.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Welcome back. For those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking to Supervisor Curt Hagman of the County of San Bernardino. Exciting projects, programs, everything that's on the horizon. We're discussing budgets, infrastructure, and a continued vision to enhance the quality of life for all in the County of San Bernardino. Thank you again for being with us, Supervisor Hagman.
Again, thank you for covering San Bernardino County. We are excited to be part of its success.
Absolutely. Well, before the break, we were talking about some of the technology components that the county is pursuing. You know, the fact that the county is number one of all counties in North America, recognized by National Association of County Officials, which is a national organization, with how many awards again?
82 Innovation Awards this year.
Oh my goodness, 82 Innovation Awards. And before the break, we were talking about some projects that you have with the boring company, as well as some drone systems, some traffic integration, smart traffic systems that you're looking to integrate as well. I mean, what else is on the horizon when we're looking at the technological aspect?
Well, there's so much, and you don't just deploy tech for the sake of having tech. And we do get a lot of people come up and try to sell, here's a smart meter reader. Well, I don't have any parking meters in my county. I mean, in my jurisdiction, so we don't need to worry about that. You go try to serve purpose in response to issues. For example, we're working on this currently right now in Mount Baldy, when people go walk up there and hike up there, which is a very popular place both LA and San Bernardino residents go do. Unfortunately, about one person a week gets lost or falls down on the mountain. And so by collection of these reports and data, we found that there's two particular locations that seem to have like 80% of these problems.
Wow.
And that may be, and it's run by the National Forest. So, we can't tell the federal government to fix your trails or put some more signs up or something. But one of the major problems is you have no cell phone coverage. So if something does happen and you need to call help, you can't call anybody. So we're looking at using the same Starlink technology hooked up with solar panels and to be able to have a cell phone repeater somewhere on the mountain. So when people do have issues, we can call for help. So now we're reverse engineering a design to fix a problem that's reoccurring. We all hear about fires every year. Obviously, the earlier you get started on a fire response, the more likely you can contain it at the early stages. So our fire chief is also embraces technology. Is looking at, can we deploy fire sensor cameras that will pick up the slightest 5-degree difference of temperature through its lens and alert us in the background. We also have that long stretch between San Bernardino and Vegas that people travel on Highway 15 all the time. And when we have an accident on there, we really don't know the severity of that accident. Do we deploy a tow truck? Do we deploy a fire paramedic, a fire company engine, or even in some cases life alert helicopters for the medical savings? So we're looking at the potential of deploying automatic drones along the 15 that will charge up by day, with solar, and when we get a report, we can send one of these things over to get an assessment within 5 minutes, so we know what kind of resources to send. It's all about managing the data and collecting that data, so we, as policymakers, can hopefully make better decisions deploying the resources to fix certain issues. But all that stuff's not, going to be in the future. All the stuff is current technology that we use today. Is trying to prioritize it and how to collect. I don't want to use collection of data in a bad way because, like me, I don't want government telling me what kind of data to collect on me. But it's things like how many cars go through an intersection per hour on what day of the week, so we get time the lights correctly to keep people moving.
Right.
There's nothing more frustrating to go on a major street and stop at every red light, not timed. And you can time one city perfectly, but as soon as you hit that magical jurisdiction in the next city, and it's not timed, it's all for nothing. And so it's trying to get the different government entities to work together and to deploy technology and software that will work collectively so we could manage our infrastructure better.
I love that you are looking to use technology to integrate, streamline, become more efficient, save tax dollars, respond to residents, and create a much safer environment. It blows my mind. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. So let's move on and talk a little bit about Ontario International Airport. What's new there? I know you're on you were a key person to bring back management and ownership of the airport back to the city of Ontario.
We're excited for the airport. It's such a wonderful asset for us to have, and it really is alternative to LAX for Southern California. It's not just San Bernardino residents that are going to use it. We're closer to downtown LA, driving distance it is from downtown LA to LAX, for example, as well as Orange County and Riverside. So it's collective effort to regain local control. And after we did, we were the fastest growth airport before COVID. And currently, we're the fastest recovery airports since COVID has let up. And the reports we're getting, we're over the numbers we were pre-COVID already for this cycle. And obviously, we have a lot of summer vacation travels. And we're getting new flights left and right. We're getting some old flights back. And COVID actually kind of probably helped shake up the board a little bit with these routes. So we have airlines that we've never thought they would look at us right now for direct flights, and including more overseas travel, which I know that my residents keep asking me, when can I go to Europe? Where can I go here? Well, hopefully by this year we have some of those choices for Europe and Asia and other places, more Mexico flights, things like that we could have. Although we have lots of choices already, we're looking for more on the passenger travel. Cargo-wise, we were already really growing one of the bigger North America cargo airports already. With COVID hit, we just grew even faster. We're still growing every time. We're, I think, the only regional or North America airport that has UPS, FedEx Express, Prime, and we have a segment of DHL that's probably going to get larger here pretty soon, all on one location. So we're very fortunate that we have a great asset. We have lots of land around it still that we're going to continue to develop. The customer service needs that we have for the terminals are not that engineered the greatest. You can see the new ones that are around. They have a centralized restaurants and stores. But we have to overcome what we have. So we're introducing, again, technology. We're virtual shopping. So instead of having the good stores, the international stores about the duty-free stores, you can do that online now. We're going to have a company that's going to start very shortly. They can get it from your phone. You can pay right there. It'll be delivered to your plane or waiting for you when you land if you're coming in from someplace else. Same thing with restaurant and drinks and food. Think about DoorDash inside a terminal. So we're going to have all these different things for our travelers to make it really the airport of choice, not just because we're less crowded, but also for all these new creature comforts we're having, including Claire technology. We're going to be one of the first airports that allow you to use biometrics to go through security.
Oh my goodness. And so, there is so much happening in the county and so many opportunities, which I think explains the fact that the county is touting a 3.4% unemployment rate. Please talk a little bit about how that compares to, California as a whole.
Oh, we're in the lower end, lower than California's average right now. And again, we have a strong workforce here. That's what my job in economic development is. It's a great story to go out, not just domestically and nationally, but internationally, to go out now and tell the Inland Empire story or San Bernardino County story. We still have land. We have a great workforce. We have great universities here, and our workforce is young. We have, the medium age of 33, over 1 million people that can work here in the county, and they're working. It's under 3.4% right now. So we're very strong in that regards, but we're continuing to try to bring more variety of actually high-tech and manufacturing jobs. People don't know we have one of the biggest national defense companies right here in San Bernardino County.
Wow.
That fly out of our desert. We have a great pharmaceuticals and technology companies. And so we're trying to get those big spectrum of employers here. And it's really hats off to our economic development team going out and being the cheerleader for San Bernardino County, which that was always the case. They're going out there and not just saying here in California, come to us, but nationally and internationally as well. We have a huge investment from overseas now coming to the county, creating those good paying jobs here.
Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. And with that said, you talk about San Bernardino has land, right? San Bernardino County has land and room to grow. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about the larger parks that you have invested efforts in and the county has invested efforts in, and what it is that we can expect, starting with Cucamonga Guasti Park.
Yeah, well, we made a partnership with Top Golf, and that's a new model you're going to continue to see going in the future. Is we have land assets, but not necessarily money to build these great recreational activities. So what we're doing is we're partnering up. So we're in a private-public partnership with Top Golf, and they built it's busy every day over there. And that will bring not only the recreation to our residents, but also it's bringing over $1 million a year to our park system. And that property was vacant for 40 or 50 years prior to that. Just behind it, I hinted at an earlier segment that we're looking, I guess I'll say, we're looking at one of 7 top surf parks in the world, where you can have multiple lagoons. And if you're a professional surfer or a wannabe, they'll have 2 different lagoons, one for the intermediate, one for the advanced, where you can dial up an 8-foot perfect wave and practice every day. We're hopefully may get that in for the 2028 Olympics in that area. Again, it makes the county a good portion because it's a private-public partnership of other resources that we invest in the other parts of the park. So at Guasti Park, we have this nice old pool, but it is very old. We're looking at tearing that out with a lazy river with gazebos. So you can take your kids there and have a birthday party, or just go sit on a hot day on the lazy river and float around. But these partnerships bring the resources we need to reinvest in our infrastructure on these parks to make them more attractive to keep people here, and then bring some great amenities to our residents as well.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about Chino Airport. Last time we talked, you were unveiling something new at Chino Airport.
Again, another great asset that's been a little bit neglected over the years for a number of reasons. The money was diverted out there to pay another county obligation, and there was some environmental issues going on. But now, since those are cleared up, we're investing back into our airport, and it's going to be part of beautification and modernization. I guess is the theme anywhere in the county right now. We'll start off with new walls around it, new theme, monument signs and others. In fact, one thing I didn't know for a long time, there's only one address at the airport. So if you're one of the 100 businesses on the airport, you're trying to get mail, it's kind of hard because it's all one address. So we're going to actually have street names and addresses on the other buildings. And then obviously things like making it safer for the aircraft to fly, repave the runways, update our hangar spaces. And really there's a lot of property left on the airport for development. So we're looking at possibly a new FBO, flight-based operations, possible maybe a hotel that will support people, travelers coming to and from there, and other businesses to allow that, we don't want the big jets flying out of there. My residents don't not happy when they fly out the louder ones, but those small aircraft to come in and out, and to allow that to continue to grow and be a great asset for the Inland Empire as well.
Amazing. So I just want to commend you and your team and everybody that is a part of the county, working hard, like just complete superstars, to have earned 82 NACO awards. Again, that's the National Association of County Officials. And please talk about a few of those awards and, what they mean to you personally, because I know based on your bio, again, you have a heart of service, you love technology, and this is your wheelhouse. So please talk about a few of those awards that are the most meaningful to you.
Oh, wow. Well, there's so many of them, but I guess the theme is we talk about the reinventing the way we provide services to our residents. And if we're still using fax machines and we're still taking notes by hand and we're still doing things like that, then obviously we need to get with the current technology. So a lot of the awards, I think our biggest winner this year was our public health department, which I'm very proud of. And I'm proud of the way we handled COVID. No one liked COVID. We're sick of hearing about COVID, but we did things differently than other counties. We're the first to come up with this COVID business compliant program, for example, where we gave grants to our small businesses to help them keep afloat in these hard times. It's one thing the government say, shut your doors and don't do business. Another thing to say, well, we're going to put you out of business because we're going to continue to do that. And if you could tell what we did, we did more of an information campaign for our residents than enforcement like other counties. Other counties wrote fines and tickets and sued people. We didn't do any of that. We just try to keep it up. In fact, out of the 82, I got one award myself because I did a program called, trying to remember what the name of it was, Chairman's Update, whatever. And it was really just talking to experts all about the changes of COVID and different rules and regulations that were coming from the state of California, because at the time it's changing almost weekly. So we had a weekly update with people to talk about the questions that I was getting as chairman. And then we want to give them straight talk and dispel any misinformation. There's a lot of information out there. But we had a number of awards for the public health in all my departments. Almost every department did something differently. We talked about digital code enforcement and digital building and planning, our kiosk monitors for our residents to go get government services. It's just really reinventing that I'm so proud of. And they continue to do this on their own to build that culture of being smart mid-management and upper management to allow our great workers to do their job and to come up with ideas of how they could do it better and not just feel like they have to do the same government bureaucracy they've been doing for the last 10 years. So we'll continue to kind of strive in this. This is our 6th year in a row of really setting the standard high. We keep getting more awards each year, and we'll continue to try to do that going forward as well.
Absolutely. And I just have to thank you for those grants, those business grants during COVID, because I assisted quite a few of my clients to navigate that and apply for those grants here locally. Now, please talk to us a little bit about, do those businesses, do they pay back that money or do they keep it? And what was that money initially sent out for businesses?
Yeah, we had two different rounds at the county level, and then there's also a state level one. And none of that money it's all grants. You don't have to pay it back. The federal government also had loans, and we don't know what the rules are going to be for that. But for the ones you got from the county, and there was a small amount of money given to the state for, I think it was micro businesses that made less than $50,000 a year. Those are strictly grants. And the first round was to try to get people, we call it COVID compliant, but basically fix up your business to make it more safe for its patrons to come into. We did a couple rounds of that. Then we put $35 million total into that program over the year. And then the government had another small micro business grant as well. And then cities also were doing their own programs. So we know that small business is one of the strongest employer that we have, and the one that does the most. So we need to support them the best we can.
Now, did other counties, other surrounding counties do the same thing in terms of offering grants versus, loans or other government assistance for local businesses?
I think others did after we did at different levels. Some may have been loans, some may have been grants. We weren't really following anybody else, so I wasn't really paying attention to what they did later. But we know we set the pace, and the other counties did follow that later.
Oh, that is tremendous. So please share a little bit about what you're most excited about moving forward.
I'm excited just for the county to start to get the recognition it deserves as far as what a great place to come live, work, and play. You see cities grow from infancy, which starts off with homes, then the businesses come in, usually the stores and the markets and the chain restaurants, and then it evolves into maturity, and we're seeing our county do that too. We're continue to grow. We're doing smart growth. It's not a place that people go to because they have to anymore. It's because they want to come out here. The quality of life is great, and we have a very, very bright future. So we're getting superstar companies come in, superstar residents living here, and that we're investing at this current next 4 or 5 years. We're going to have the ability to really invest in things that will last decades for this county. Like I said, infrastructure, things that people will see, the beautification of our parks, assets that will bring people around from other areas. If we get the surf park going, people will be flying in from other parts of the world to go surfing here, as well as our local residents who use, Prado Park and its improvements, or Chino Airport. So we see that kind of stuff, and things you won't see, but it's going to be very important for the growth of the county is things like our high-speed internet, our sewer system. Those are the infrastructure parts that we'll be able to invest in going forward. And the fact that we're building for tomorrow, not today. We're not trying to catch up with anybody right now. We're trying to be the leader in these fields of our public transportation systems, with our technology and all the rest of it. So they'll last for quite a long time and will allow us to continue the smart growth that we're going to continue to have in San Bernardino County. That's
wonderful. And it's so inspiring and so exciting. So please just share a little bit, brag about your team, because you have a phenomenal team. Andy, hey Andy, I love you, and I love everything that you do. Please brag a little bit about your team and talk about how anybody that is looking to join the County of San Bernardino team, because I do see that there are regular job postings, how it is that they can join as well.
Well, I'll take a personal step and talk about my direct team. I do have a number of wonderful people that support me, because this is, if you read through all the boards and committees that you get with one elected position, I think there's actually about 42 in total that we're on. It takes a lot of staff support to help keep me informed. I go to those board meetings, and they do a fantastic job, plus all the public inquiries. So I have a team at my San Bernardino office that are more policy focused, and especially the last 4 years being chairman, there's a lot of extra duties. You set the agenda, you sign all the documents, you do all the fun stuff. But also my district office works with all the public interaction. And I would say anybody who has a question about government, we may not be all that we know where to go to. So what people don't understand is most of the programs we do on a county level are actually state and federal programs that are legislated in existence, and they tell the county to deal with it, and here's your money to deal with it. So if you have problems with the state or the federal government or even local government, you can start off at our office. We can try to get you to the right place if we don't deal with it directly. But overall, we have over 20,000 dedicated employees in San Bernardino County that just do a fantastic job. And we work very closely with the unions and the team and the leaders and the directors and the managers to try to make sure you can grow through the county as much as you want to, and continue to increase their skill sets so they can keep doing more things for our residents. And the awards and recognition we're getting nationally is due to their hard work of what they're doing for the opportunities. And the county is such a great place because you have the mountains, you have the deserts, you have the valleys. You can find any kind of climate you want, and you have access to almost everything. So it's a great place to come work for.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing all of this amazing information and for all of your hard work for the County of San Bernardino, Supervisor Hagman. So for everyone listening, don't forget to look for us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com, and don't forget to download the free live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. And I have to give a big shout out to my friend Ruben Hernandez of Veterans Housing Alliance, who sent me this lovely coin here. Thank you so much. You were a recent guest. You're doing amazing work for veterans, and I look forward to lunch. So for everyone listening, don't miss my interview with Kimberly Benson, who serves as administrator of the UAS Center at San Bernardino International Airport. She is focused on promoting the adoption of drone technology in support of our region's workforce development. The UAS Center is at San Bernardino International Airport. It's the fastest growing airport in the United States for air cargo. Bringing years of experience as an entrepreneur in international business, Kim has conducted business in over 50 countries and is experienced in U.S. export compliance, government affairs, and trade policy. She is dedicated to developing the UAS Center at SBD into a globally recognized hub of drone technology. Next week, we will have Aileen Dinkjian, the Executive Director of the Healthy Communities Institute at San Antonio Regional Hospital, which supports the development and implementation of population health management and provides leadership and oversight for the Healthy Communities Institute. Aileen's role includes programmatic development, operational oversight, marketing and communications, financial management, and community outreach. She is also a natural social innovator who has 20 years of successful, proven track record in working with and providing support to local, state, and federal governments to write supporting grants, develop improved processes to program management, write and review policies, and leverage an organization's quality assurance through ongoing evaluations. Aileen is a leader and mission-driven in managing small to large-size project teams in a collaborative and fast-paced environment. She is also accomplished in developing work plans for a project work stream, understanding dependencies, maintaining project economics, and keeping leadership informed of progress and issues. Everyone, do not miss it. We will see you next week.